I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. So I am just going to dive right in, making a zipper panel, and if you have time, you can watch me complete the bag that I'm working on. I have a screwy setup for my camera, and I have a dryer going in the background as well, so that's noisy. Sorry about that. The clothes are wet, so I cannot turn it off. It needs to keep drying. I will have to move the camera when it comes time to sit down at the sewing machine. I'm going to have to learn some editing skills to avoid moving you guys around. So right now, and stabilize my zipper panels. My bag panel is 20 inches wide. That's a big one. Make sure. Let me see here. Yep, we're at 20 inches. Excuse me. So I deduct 2 inches. I think, in my mind, I go, hey, minus 2 inches for the sewing, 2 inches again. So this is going to be about 16 inches. But I'm not at the 1 mark. I'm at the 2. So, I'm not starting at 0 on my board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So 16. And okay. Well, I'm missing my scrap box. I just organized my sewing room. I'm going to cut these down. I did some rearranging and organizing yesterday, and things are a little different than what. Cutting my panels down to 3 1/4. I will show you the bag that this is going to go into here soon. Uh-oh, am I lagging? Moving too fast for the camera. Right, so what I do here, you ain't gonna be able to see much of this, is I press down my ends. I fold them in about a little over of a 1/4 inch. And I do that to all 4 panels. So it looks like that. See how that's a flap? Both ends. Do that to all 4 panels. Everybody has their own way of doing things. This is my way. I don't really care for this fabric. It's kind of a thinner cotton. I think it's called Country Classics at Joann's. I do not like it. I prefer Kona, Robert Kaufman, Kona cotton. The thickier, I said the thickier. The thickier, that's a new word. The more heavyweight, thicker cotton. This stuff's really thin. I probably picked it up as a remnant or something, who knows. Because I darn sure would not be getting it off the bolt. Okay, next step. Again, I know you can't see all of what I'm doing. Now I'm going to interface this with P44F, fusible interfacing. looks like this. One side has glue dots, the other side does not. And I actually go right over it with my iron. This is not. This makes it easier just to go ahead and cut it down so you're not having to trim with your scissors. It's just shy. I go right over this with my iron. Once in a while, something gets on my iron and it does cause it to stick. When that happens, I catch it right away and correct it. So I just press it down to keep it in place, and then I flip it over and iron on the other side. Oops, I went too far down with this one. Gosh darn it. Get my scissors right there. So I don't like to go right up to the edge. I like to leave a little space. As you see, that's a little too close for my liking. I pressed it down with the iron on that side. Now I'm going to flip it and press it on that side. You can do this to all 4 panels. This gives the material some structure, a little bit of weight, protection for when you sew through it, so your needle just doesn't eat up the fabric. I mean, your machine doesn't eat up the fabric. That's right, I put that right there. That's how I like it to look. Oh, right there. And it also glues down those flaps that we created when we pressed them down, the ends, so you don't have a raw edge. I put my stabilizer right over that to hold it all down. Press. I'm sorry about this janky view that you have. You can't quite see, but you know I'm just pressing. Pressing. All right, we're going to run out here, so I have to get myself another little piece. Press, press. This is when I like to reach and use my scraps. I'm just going to eye this up. Oh, right there. Let's see. Perfect. One more. This little skinny piece here. Fit perfect for what I need right there. All right, put the scraps in there. All right, so now that all 4 panels are done, we have 4 zipper panels here. 2, 3, 4. Now we need to make our zipper. I buy my zipper by the bulk, by the rolls, the yards. It's a store that is on eBay. I believe the store is called Northwest something. This is a number 5. Number 5 zip, number 5 slider. And again, I like to eye it up. So I imagine this on my bag. How much of a tail do I want? How much of a front do I want? I noticed some bags have really long tails, which I think is unnecessary. I do not care for that look. But you do not want to make your tail too short, because then you can't open, when you go to open the bag, you'll have some restriction there. So there's a happy medium there that needs to happen. And this is a large bag that I'm making. So I'm going to just eye this up. Right there. And I could definitely use this short piece on one of my phone wallets. So I'm going to save that. I like to take a lighter, burn the ends, split it open. You can split it open all the way if you like. I just to start, I do it this way. Come over here so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my slider and start feeding it through. When you look at your zipper, you have two sides. You have that side, you have that side. You know it's not going to go through that side. I'm not sure the technical terms for that. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing here. All right, let me get it on here. Switch it down. So you want to slide one side in, and you want to put your finger there and kind of gauge it. You can feel, you don't want to push it all the way through. You just want to push it right at the top. And then the other side comes through, and you can kind of hear or feel like a little click. You know that it's snapped into place. And then I take my 2 fingers and I hold the zipper tape down. Kind of wiggle with it a little bit, work with it. Once I have it on, then I continue splitting my zipper. If you feel some resistance when you do your zip, take it off and do it again. I like it to be nice and smooth. All right, that's good. So we have our zip. Just made our zipper. We have our panels, and onto the sewing machine. This is where I have to move you, unless I can figure out how to edit you out of the video. All right. Hey, don't forget to let me know when it's 6, guys. Let's see if I put you about right there. Don't want to make you motion sick. Let's see, is that good? This says broken presser foot, but works. I had a couple of these, and that's how I was able to tell the difference, because the presser foot doesn't stay up. Okay. Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm the voice you're hearing. All right, here we go, guys. This is my second live video. All right, so my bag business name is Spitzy Banger. It is a strange name. It's a name that came to me in a dream. When I Google searched Spitzy Banger on Google, I had an all-white screen with 0 search results, which in today's age, that's very hard to do. And I thought, what is Spitzy Banger? What is that? Is it a drink? Is it a dance? Um, it just, we couldn't figure it out. You know, like what does that mean? Well, I've always had a desire and passion for making bags and making mainly bags, but other items too. Um, and I like to be different. I want to be different. I don't want my bags. I want my bags to look professional, but I'm not trying to look like the stores. I want to stand out, and that is the logo I go with. I say, dare to be unique, dare to be you, because everybody being the same is no fun. So I always like to overstep the boundaries. I love a challenge. I like to do things differently. I've always been stubborn. It's just in my nature. I was born that way. So you will see me doing some different things that you have not seen on YouTube. And I know they're not on YouTube because I search YouTube every day for things that I think of. And I'm like, wow, they're not out there. Or it's out there, but it's not quite how I thought of it. So here we go. I'll show you the bag that I'm working on right now. Here, this is my first time showing this. This says Baby Love. Now, I don't know how the camera is going to take all that neon color. It's going to show you the true color. But this is yellow, orange, red, blue, and green. And there's even some light blue in there. Royal blue and light blue. So it's a rainbow thread that I actually found at Dollar General. Let's see if I have some on here. And it's so strange. As soon as I was walking down the aisle and I seen it, the image of what I wanted to do with it came to me instantly. Instantly. And I get ideas like that all the time, and I don't know where they're coming from. So I bought the string. I had it for about a month, and then I finally decided just to go with it. And the string is, you can burn it with a lighter. So what I did, I just blindly went in here and did some cursive writing. When I mean blindly, I just winged it. I didn't write anything out or nothing. So it says Baby Love and then the heart. So you can see where I kind of got, instead of more of a rounded edge right here, it got a little pointed there. And then also here. I was always told as an artist, we like to point out our mistakes. And that's the first thing I'm doing, and I shouldn't be doing that. You actually shouldn't do that. Anyway, so this is a black cotton twill canvas background. I'm going to clean it up with the lint roller because it's catching a lot of lint. Got the Baby Love, and I stitched it down with the satin stitch. And I chose yellow. Yellow would allow all of this to pop off of the black. Okay. The other side, I took that rainbow rope and I made a pocket, nice deep pocket. Made my own little lime green zipper, and I added a black zipper head to kind of pop out, match the bag. Nice deep pocket, fully lined. And then I took that rope, stitched it down, and I only have 2 layers on this side and 3 layers on that side. I needed a third to cover up where I had stitched the zipper down. And then the strap, this is, I started with a 5-inch wide piece, where you fold it in half and crease, bring the ends into the middle and all that stuff. This is actually a true canvas material. It's not the same as the body of the bag, this material here. And then I just took that rope. I made the strap, and then I took the rope and just stitched down a wavy line of that neon rope. The rainbow rope. I keep calling it neon rainbow colors. So that'll be the strap. I'm not going to do any strap connectors. It's just going to be one single strap, easy, kind of like an oversized bag. Somebody can use it for a diaper bag if they want. And I know it's not It's not even the right colors for the season. This is more like a summer bag. It's just something that came to me. Don't ask. And then the inside, it's already sewn together. Here, you know what? I'm going to flip it right side out for you to see what I did. So the liner's already stabilized and sewn together. I did 3 different colors here on that side. You got your coral, your pink, and your blue. Blue, pink, coral. So I just placed it differently on this side. Then I have a nice bright yellow that I separated into 3 pockets. So you got 3 compartments. And that's your liner. I already have my gusset cut out. And then normally I like to berth my bags through a pocket, but I didn't. The pockets I did on this bag, I'm unable to do that. So I just left an opening at the bottom of the liner, and that's where we will berth our bag. So there's the top, there's the bottom. Okay, so there's the bag that we're making the zipper panel for. Hey, Miranda? Yeah? Will you bring me my phone? Yep. Thank you, dear. All right, let me turn it down. All right, we have an hour, and then I have to handle dinner. Okay, I could use a white thread on this because this is a colored bag. We're not trying to stick with I'll go with black. Is that lighting okay, or is that pointing right at you guys? I have an overhead light hanging over my 2 main tables, but I recently switched sides, so we have to get out the drill and move my light so it's over here. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I get the hiccups. Make sure I have enough black. I guess we'll have to switch up here and there. This one's ready to go. I hate when I have like a couple bobbins that are like a third of the way full. I don't like starting, especially with putting a bag together. Well, that part, I mean, if you run out of bobbin on that part, I guess that's fine, but. So we'll use this one up for right now. As you see, I've grown accustomed to lifting that presser foot. The things that we adjust to. So I wanted to do an introductory video of who I am, where I'm from. You guys can get to know me. I'm in Michigan. I'll wait till I'm done lining this bobbin. Alright. Now we have our backup. I sometimes come in here and do a bunch of them all at once. It's time to do it. As you see, I just have a plain Jane domestic machine, nothing fancy. Although I have my eye on a Juki that's on eBay for $600 right now, and oh, I cannot. I daydream about that one. Not wait. One day. All right, I'm also going to make my zipper ends. So with the pink and the coral scraps that I had left, I went ahead and just pressed that down on both of them. As you see, it's about a ½ inch. Then you're going to sandwich those together, right sides facing, and you're going to stitch up about 1.5 inches, or depending how big you want your zipper tab. Like here's some examples. These are zipper tabs, and they go on the ends. Maybe I'll use the yellow and the green, because it kind of matches with the rainbow. You know, that's what we'll do. We'll save this for a different one. These are already made. So out of these two, this is what you get. Or you get one, not two. So you sew it together. You know, here, I'll make one. And to measure, you can eye it up if you want, or you can use your zipper to help gauge how far across you sew. So I just sewed up about 5 stitches. Now I'm going to take my zipper and I'm going to lay it on that little panel there. Be careful not to sew over it. And that just tells me how far down I want to sew. And always give yourself an extra stitch, because you'll be surprised when you flip it right side out. It's always a little bit smaller than you anticipated. And as you see, you always back stitch before you, when you start and stop, always back stitch. It's so important. If not, it will straight up fall apart. So I just cut around that. There's the pink side, there's the coral side. Now flip it right side out. You can use your fingers. I have an old ink pen that don't work. I just stick it in there. Poke the corners out. Don't poke too hard. Look, I just poked right through that. And then there you have a zipper tab. I don't have green in the rainbow design, so I'm going to go ahead and use this as one of them and this at the other. Now these go on last. I just like to have them done. So that's done. Can you see my table? Let me see here. You can see what I'm doing. So you take one of your panels, right side up, lay your zipper down, teeth side up, right side up. Everything's face up right now. Your last piece is face down. So you're making a sandwich, a zipper sandwich. Okay? So the bottom and the zipper are face up. Your top is face down. Make sure you line up your top and your bottom. Make sure they are aligned. Pinch them with your fingers. If you want a pin, if you want a wonder clip, whatever you want to do at this point to secure it for you. So make sure those are lined up. Okay? Start and stop, and then you're going to, I don't pin, so I just adjust and sew as I go down. Sew and adjust, sew and adjust. Tell you another little, yeah, I definitely do not like the lighting over here. I need my overlay. If you find that it's not perfectly even, because I am asinine when it comes to that, I have to be even. I'll show you what I do. And it works out just fine. Learn from my mistakes, guys. So this one was hanging over a little bit. See there? It was hanging over about 1/8 of an inch. I don't like that. So what I did was I folded it. As I sewed down, I folded that right in. And it creates a fold. So you have to just use your fingers and remember that fold for when you flip around. Okay, you're going to bring the wrong sides together, flip it around. The teeth are face up. Your back panel and your front panel are all correct. Now, because I created that fold, I have to use my fingers to keep it in place. Or you can pen or clip, whatever you're comfortable with. Now, you don't want to pull your panels too far out. You want that zipper to be comfortably laying between when you create your panel. Like, you don't want to stretch it and pull it and have it all the way stick all the way out, because you kind of want it to be snuggled up nice and neat and closely to the zipper teeth. Hope I'm getting that out right. Oh, you did not. Come on already. I'm going to clip that because it's getting on my nerves. I didn't leave enough of a tail, so I lost my string. Lost my thread. That happened yesterday on the live show. It's probably my sister messing with me. My sister passed away, and the anniversary of her death is coming up here on November 18th. She passed away in 2007. It's been 12 years, but it feels like last week. If you've ever lost someone, you know exactly what I mean. So I left that wonder clip on there to hold that in place. All right, so I'll show you what I mean about being nestled up to those zippers. Sewing up. Don't worry about the raw edges. The raw edges will be hidden in the bag when we put this together in the bag, okay? So right now we're just sewing up the sides and then all the way down, top stitching. Top stitching all the way down. Maybe I should have used a color thread. All right, at this point, so I started, this is where I started. I sewed, I came up, I turned it, came all the way down, turned it, and came back down that short end down there. Now I'm going to go reverse stitch one time, lift my presser foot, turn it, and I'm going to come right back up that short end. And I go one stitch past my original sew line. When I was sewing down that zipper there, I'm only going one stitch past that, and I'm going to come back up. I'll tell you the reason why, or I'll show you the reason why. You don't want to go too far. So remember how I had to fold in my little edge? Because I had to fold that in, my start line was nestled right up along that edge there. That's where I started because I wanted to stitch down that little fold that I had, okay? So I stitched up there, I turned, and I came all the way down. And then I turn, I come down, and then I back up and I come back and I go right above my stitch line and I come all the way back down and back down that side. So I'm not sure if you can see the stitching. Now the reason for only going one stitch above your original stitch line here is on the back when you turn it over. I'm using black thread. I'm sorry, it's probably not the best tutorial. You don't want to go on your zipper tape. You want to stay on your fabric panel. So if I would have went too far up, then my line would have been running on my zipper tape and not my panel. And when I first started making bags, I used to do that all the time. And I thought, no big deal. Well, then as time went on and I became more of a skilled sewer, I look back at my old bags and I'm embarrassed. I'm like, oh my God, that's awful. You know, to my own self. You know, we are our worst enemies, our own, you know, we judge ourselves hard. So this is just something that I've learned to perfect, and I prefer not to go up and sew on my zipper tape. Same thing when you start. I'll show you. So now we're going to put our other side on, okay? So zipper panel face up, teeth face up. Now the zipper is going to be at the opposite end because we want our teeth to be face up. All right. So your zipper tape is nestling up with the edge of that bottom panel. And then this is your other slice of bread here. We're making a zipper sandwich. This goes face down. So when we started on this other side, the same way we're starting on this side, you want to make sure those are lined up. Okay, lined up with the other panel here. When you go to start and back stitch right here, you don't want to back up over on your zipper tape. Stay off of the zipper tape. It just makes it look yucky. Stay on your fabric. So start and stop and secure it. Don't go past that. And unless you're making like a rainbow bag and you are trying, you know, you want to have different color threads where it pops off the project. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Geez, I'm jumping around. Never mind. I was just gonna say, try to match it up. I'm not a good teacher. I'm better off just showing somebody what I'm doing. And even then, you guys can't even see me all that well. We'll get it together. I'm slowly trying to join the YouTube world. Again, the same thing happened down here. It's a little too longer. I mean, it's a little longer than the other side, so I'm going to fold it up 1/8 of an inch. Sometimes you cut your fabric the wrong way, the stretchy side, and what is it, on the bias or something it's called. I'm not a professional when it comes to all that stuff. I don't even know what it means. I just know that there's a side that stretches and there's a side that doesn't stretch. And it makes a difference when you're sewing. What side you're dealing with. I know there's some ladies on here that show you how to, like, the proper way to cut fabric and And as you go, you want to make sure you're pulling out that bottom panel and straightening everything up. Don't pull it too hard. You just want to give it a little gentle tug. Just to get it so it's not getting caught underneath there. And everything will turn out crazy. Crooked. So I came down, I'm back stitching. I'm going to turn, come back up. One stitch past that original line and come back up the work, back up the panels. There we have it. Nice aligned zipper panels. I suppose they're either they're threads, they'll burn. If they're strange, cut them. Don't burn your zipper. Okay, this is the part where I like to gauge how large I want my zipper. I mean, how long I want my zipper to be. So I lined it up this way. So I line up my panel, laying my zipper panel on the bag, and I kind of eye it up to see how much room I have on each side. And from what I can see, it looks like it's pretty even. My tail is going to be a little bit longer than my front end. I prefer it that way. Excuse me. I don't think I need to take too much off here. I think it's going to be perfect. If you feel like it's too long, you know, you could snip a little bit off before you put your cap on. I recently, let me see here. There's two ways of installing a zipper panel. I think we're going to use the good old-fashioned way today. Yeah, so we will go ahead and install. We're going to go ahead and install the zipper tabs. The other way of installing your zipper panel, you would not put your tabs on until the very end. I have to show that on a different video. So I'm just cutting off a smidge just to straighten up my end. Burn it. I'm going to add that on there. See, it just slides right on. Okay, let's see the other one. Sometimes I make my tab, one of them a little bit taller than the other one. And I like to put my taller one on my tail end and my shorter one on my front end of my zipper. So we're going to go ahead and put, let's see, we got a pink. We'll put the short one down there at the head like I like to do. And we're going to put the green one here. So you put that on there, you just hold it in place, and I'm going to sew a square, and then I do just one line across. It's just something I like to do. Be cautious where you start. Be cautious of your zipper when you're sewing over your zipper. Good, that's over with. That was noisy. Sorry about that, guys. I have 7 children, so my washer and dryer are going all the time. Just turn this around. I two of my oldest two daughters are grown up and gone. So I still have 5 at home, 5 children. I have 6 daughters and 1 son. My oldest 2 daughters are 23 and 21. My only son, he's my 3rd child, so he's now the oldest in the home. He's 17, just turned 17. Then I have a 15-year-old daughter who's about to turn 16 in about 2 months. I have a 13-year-old daughter who's turning 14 this month. Then I have a 12-year-old daughter who's turning 13 in 2 months. Then I have a 5-year-old daughter who's also turning of age in 3 months. Well, no, she's in March. So 5-year-old. And my 5-year-old, she's a baby of the 7. She's autistic. And that is something that is completely new to me. I know nothing about it. I've never been around an autistic child as far as like around them daily. So every day is a new experience with her. She's absolutely wonderful. I think we're going to be doing some videos about her or on her too. So just hang out, subscribe, join me, and we're going to all get to know each other. I think these videos are great, especially the ones that are versatile and not just focused on one subject. Although sewing is my passion, and I think I'm going to start different channels for different subjects. I'm not sure. So this is what that looks like when it's done. It goes all the way around in a square, and then I just go around one line. I don't like the X because I have a domestic machine. I don't have the greatest equipment, and I feel like sometimes my X's look a little wonky. No matter how straight I try to make them, I just feel everyone does an X or a square. I'm going to do the half X. I like to be different. All right, on to zipper panel or zipper tab number 2. Again, I'm just going to trim off a little bit just to straighten up my ends. And I'm leaving that zipped. I'm just going to pinch this together, making sure that everything's staying even. You don't want to pull on more, pull on one side and make it where you're cutting it on even. Just burn my ends. Just run it along there. I'm going to go pink side up, coral side down. And that little black thread that's hanging off there, we'll burn that when we're all done. Just put it on there like a little hat, little cap. Stick it in the machine. And away we go. I sure would like a new machine that works. Presser foot thing is a pain in my butt sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Cut that. I just roll this up, gently turn it. This is how it looks. That's how the back looks. I'm gonna burn off those extra little threads that are sticking off. Let's see here. Okay, we still have a half hour. All right, so the panel is done. I'm going to go ahead and just start putting this bag together. As you see, the liner is already sewn up on the sides. I just need to finish closing off the gussets. So with these kind of gussets, I'm holding my panel upside down. Okay, here's the gussets. These have been measured in all 4 gussets. So there's 2 on here, 2 on the exterior. All 4 are the same measurement. You're going to stick your fingers in there and open that up, pinch it open so you can align those seams. You want one seam, it doesn't matter top or bottom, however you want it, but one seam needs to go east and one seam needs to go west. Okay? So it looks like that. And you want to make sure they're lined up. Those seams on the inside, make sure they are together. Again, this is where you can use your wonder clips, you can pin it, whatever you want to do. I just use my hands. And we're going to sew a straight line going across. And I'm about, sometimes I do a 1/2 inch, sometimes I do 3/4 of an inch. 1 inch or less is how much I leave off the end here. Make sure you go back and forth to make it nice and strong. And then I always like to do reinforcement. I want my bags to last forever. So I went back and forth. That's a nice strong seam, but I'm going to go right below that with the zigzag stitch. Just extra reinforcement. It might be completely unnecessary, but for me, it's something I did from the beginning of time when I started making bags. So that's how it looks, and that's not going to open up or rip, or nothing's going to happen to whoever carries this bag. And that's how I close off all my seams. I see these ladies out here that make gorgeous bags with expensive material, and when they sew it together, I don't care if you have a $10,000 machine or a $100 machine, you're making one stitch line, one line. Dude, that's not that strong if you really think about it. After time and stress and weight and all of the wear and tear, one seam, no. One stitch line, I mean, maybe for small items, yeah, but for me, I'm just like, nope, I want mine to be nice and tough, and my fabric will give out before my seams give out. So again, that's that line there. Zigzag. Cut your threads. I like to cut my threads as I go. So both of those gussets are done. So there's our liner. Now on to the bag. Let me see here. Yep, I got my label on. I was checking to see if I had my label. This is my label. www.spitzybanger.com. I used to just say Spitzy Banger. People have trouble spelling it, or they're not sure what I'm saying. So I just changed my label to my website address. There it is. Right now, my store is empty. It's been empty for months. I mean, there's some things in there, but not much. Not like I used to keep it full. I'm getting there. All right, so I'm just going to sew a straight line straight down. We're closing this front and back panel, coming together, and you want to try to use the exact same width of a seam line that you used on your liner, because you want these bags to match up when you put the exterior inside the interior. Always backstitch when you start and stop. This is also where you might want a pen or use Wonder Clips. I just use my hands. Cut your threads. Now, I used to go back and do a zigzag down every single seam, but I stopped doing that on my exterior because you want to be able to open up your seams when you're closing off the top. And if you don't open it, it creates a really a really bad bulk, not strange, a bad bulk that your needle machine does not like. Oh, let's see here. Nope, I'm all by myself. I have to reach 1,000 subscribers to get to the real YouTube world before they open the door and let me in. All right, I'm just going to close off the bottom. I don't leave an opening here. We have our opening in our exterior. Let's work on our gussets. Now with this one is a thicker one. So, I mean, this material, the exterior is thicker. So instead of having the seams go east and west, I like to open them up butterfly style, so they can nestle into each other. You want to make sure the seams are lined up. Looks like that. Make it another little sandwich. Here, you can clip to keep that in place as you tug and, adjust your item to go into the machine. Always go slow over the bulky area. Just take your time. I definitely go back over with the zigzag to secure that. Also, zigzag stitch will stop your material from fraying. So this is a canvas, and it really loves to fray. So, you know, over the years, if this gusset becomes just wear and tear and stuff, you don't want that fraying and meeting. I always picture the fabric is going to fray, and it's going to go all the way up to that sew line, and eventually it's going to split open. I don't know. I mean, it's just my own thoughts, but I love to zigzag everything. A little extra security. We'll repeat the same process over on the other gusset. We're going to open it up, butterfly, line up those seams. Go ahead and clip the butterfly wings together. I see a stray piece of thread there. String. Lay it down. Off to the races we go. Your clip. Oh, see? Even with the clip, it still wanted to fold under there. So you always want to check that before you take off sewing. Zigzag. I have to remember I did not start with the full bobbin. I started with a half a bobbin. So before I get into the process, okay, so now it is time to flip your exterior right side out. Poke out your corners. You're going to have to do it anyways again, so when you birth the bag. The strap. I made this long. I usually do adjustable straps. I wanted this to kind of be like boho, hippie style. So we can either cut them where they have two short handles. Of course, it'll be one on each side. So it looks like that. Or I can cut it down and you'll just have one single strap, one long handle, one long strap going across. You can carry a shoulder bag or crossbody, but not adjustable. So kind of liking the looks of that. Two handles. Being that it's a big bag, maybe, you know, it's too big to put across the body, so maybe it'd be better. You know, I think I like that. I think we're going to go ahead with the 2 straps. All right, so I'm just going to fold the strap in half, find the center point, give it a tug, make sure it's nice and even, find that center, cut. I'm going to burn that rope just to cinch everything in place. Nothing comes undone. All right, go back down again, make sure everything's even. All right. So now, normally when I do 2 straps, I do lay them down on the board and I measure, make sure everything's lined up right. The straps are in the same spot on both sides of the bag. But we're just going to eye it up this time because we didn't do that. It's too late for that part. Well, you could go back to the board, but then I'd have to move the camera. All right, now here's where you decide. So for this strap, I have that rainbow rope on there. So if I'm going to place the strap down like this, see, when somebody carries the bag and they lift the straps up, you're going to see the black side. When the bag's not being carried and the strap is down, you'll see the rainbow side. So do we want to make it where, you know, the opposite way, where the bag's being carried, everybody sees the rainbow side? When it's not being carried, they see the black side. I kind of like the looks of the rainbow side showing for when the bag is being carried. You know, maybe we'll do opposites. We'll do one black side face up and the other one rope side face up. Make it different. That's what Spitzy Banger is all about. So here I am going to use my side seams as my, I keep going the wrong way, as my gauge. So I'm going to go, that looks to be about 3 inches in. From that seam. And make sure your handle's not twisted. So here's what it looks like. I went 3 inches in from each side. I just eyed it up. And then we'll stitch that down. And on this side, same thing. You can even just use the strap that you already clipped on as your guide. But this one, we're going to do rope side face up. What's going on? Nope. Mommy's going to heat up the meatloaf and mashed potatoes and all that. So get out of there. I have my alarm set for 6:10. All right. So now this side is rope side up. I'm going to use a zigzag stitch to stitch the straps down. You know, where most people say they're using a basting stitch, I'm stitching it down. Skip the basting. They use basting stitches to keep stuff in, you know, in where to sew stuff down like how you want it, so nothing's shifting. Well, not a lot. I mean, it's 50-50. Some of the times where they're like use a basting stitch and then you can go back and remove it. And I'm like, why would you want to remove it? It's extra reinforcement. Goofball. I feel like sometimes putting down that stitch and then removing it causes stress on the fabric there. It makes it weaker. But to each their own. Everybody does stuff their own way. Here, we're doing it the Spitzy Banger way. Miranda, who's in the bathroom with her? Why do you keep making her say the no, no, no?
I wasn't, it's just I went in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we have the straps sewn on. That's just our extra reinforcement. Now it is time to do the zipper panel. I might have to make a part 2 because I'm going to have to stop this video here soon. Let me see here. Maybe we can get it done. So now we got to get the zipper panel in. This is how I do my zipper panel. Here's the liner. You want to slide it in there. Make sure your teeth are face up. Okay. Again, I just eye it up. Make sure it's even on both sides. Use your seam line as your guide. You know, do you have a big space over here and a little space over here? Well, then it's not even. And once you find that happy place, you can pin it down, clip it for safety so nothing moves around. And then this is how I've never seen anyone do it this way. It's just something I've learned to do myself. It's kind of a shortcut of doing things. Now I'm going to stitch that down using less than a ½ inch seam, but a little bit wider than a quarter. I don't know the technical mathematical terms for that. All right, so that is sewn down on one side. Grab the panel, flip it up to the other side. Okay, so this is the inside of the liner. That's the bottom of your zipper panel. Line it up to be about the same as you did on the other side. Same across. Use a clip here just to stop anything from shifting as you're moving it. I don't unzip my panel at this point. I just work with it. This is what I guess you would say basting it in place, but I'm sewing it down. There's no basting here. Only time you need to baste is when you're basting a turkey. Or it might come helpful making clothes. In the bag world, shouldn't be any basting. fancy schmancy bags. Not here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. We have it sewn on into our liner. I know that's weird. You're like, what the hell is she doing? So now I'm going to unzip it. And what's also important is make sure you take your tails and put them downward like that. So the teeth are still face up, but you're putting your tail tucked down. So now our liner is wide open. The zipper panel is already sewn on. Now we're going to take our exterior, put it inside of our interior, right sides together. Remember, we have a 3-pocket panel on our interior, and we only have a 1 pocket on the outside. So the way you line your bag up, you know, do you want both pockets to be on one side of the bag? I don't. So I'm going to make sure that when I place my exterior inside my interior, that the outside pocket is facing the side that doesn't have pockets. You want to make sure, you know, pay attention to those little details like that when you're making your stuff. So when someone's using the bag, they have an outside pocket on one side and inside pockets on the other side. And when they put stuff in the pockets, the bag won't be weighted down on one side. All right. Now, when you put your exterior inside your interior, you want to, first thing, adjust your straps, make sure they're all down and nothing got twisted. And then you want to go over to your seams, open up the exterior like the butterfly, the interior, the liner, don't worry about that. People who get confused on X and in, just remember exterior for exit, for outside. Exit is for going outside. Exterior. Interior, that's inside. I don't want to insult anybody, but I know some people get confused. And I'm just so used to using those terms, so I don't want nobody going, what the hell is she talking about? All right, so we're going to butterfly stitch, remember, the exterior one, but the interior can just lay flat. Now we're going to do that pull check. Well, let me make sure my straps, yep, do the pull check. I mentioned this on my last video. That's where you take your seams, grab your liner and your interior, your exterior and interior, and you pull. Is everything lined up, or do you have extra liner or extra exterior? You know, that means stuff isn't lined up, something's wrong. From what I can see, this is perfect. So it's going to put a few clips. I normally don't use clips again, but this is a large bag. Come over here, check the straps, do the pull check. Pull check good. Add a few clips. Lord have mercy, you guys have been sitting there looking at the bottom for the last time. All right. Removing a piece of my machine, so it allows for me to go around without any problem. Now remember, we have our opening at the bottom of our liner here. So right now I'm going to sew around this entire perimeter, paying extra attention to the strap area. That's where I go back and forth again, and you want to reinforce those straps. They've already been stitched down once with a zigzag. Now you want to reinforce them here. Now is your time. If you don't do it now, then that's it. You're relying on the zigzag stitch alone and this one little wimpy line here. Excuse me. And just kind of hold it and guide it as you go around. Make sure nothing is shifting. And I'm also following where I sewed the zipper panel on. I can see that line here on my liner. I'm going right below that. So you want to go right below that line. That way that is encased in the exterior seam. It's all enclosed in. Here's a strap. When you get to the side seams, remove your clip. Go in there and make sure that your exterior is still butterfly open, like wing open. And then also feel around and make sure your zipper tabs didn't flip up or get caught in here. That would be awful. You'll see me going back and forth sometimes. That's just me wanting to make my bag extra strong. All right, I'm at one of my straps. Make sure that's laying flat there. Okay. I'm at my other side seam. I removed my clip. I'm making sure that that exterior is still butterfly wing open. Making sure I don't feel my zipper tab caught in there. And I'm about to approach my last strap. Remove my clip. Make sure everything's laying flat, nothing's turned. All right. So as you see, really quick, I'm sewing along. When I get to my straps, I go back and forth a bunch of times. So that's reinforcement. Those straps are not going to slip out. They're not going to pull out no matter how much weight gets put into the bag. So now it's time to birth the bag. I want to make sure you guys are seeing everything. Here's that opening. Reach in. Gently start pulling everything out and turning as you go. So you're pulling and turning, little bits at a time. Get that exterior out. That liner out too. Reach your hand in there. Poke out your corners. I'm just going to go ahead and close off my opening right now on camera because I'm kind of in a hurry. So if you just grab, this was already sewn together on the inside. So you can just let that natural seam happen. See how it just naturally wants to just fall into place. Now, some people would prefer doing a whip stitch, hand stitching this close so you can't see the stitching. This is a multicolored rainbow bag. I got black thread popping off the yellow thread. So I'm just going to go ahead and close it up with the black thread. It just goes, it goes with the look. I do advise you to check everything before you close your bag off. Like put everything all in place, you know, tuck the liner inside, double check everything. Just in case you need to make any adjustments, you can pull it back out, you know, inside out and make your adjustments. And again, you can pin or clip here. I just use my fingers as a guide. Always back stitch when you start and stop. I think I mentioned this in my last video. I like double stitching everything. I am a double stitcher addict. Addict. I said addict. Cut those threads. Be careful not to cut your fabric. I use a lighter to burn it off. Burn off the thread tails. Both sides. Down here. Both sides. Okay. Now I'm going to tuck the liner into the bag. Here's our thread tail, our zipper tail. I got twisted there. All right, I'm going to still, the teeth side is face up. I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull it down into the bag. You want those down into the bag. This is where we're going to roll our seams and get everything lined up for top stitching. This is the last final step. Tuck those down. Pull, you can tug on the liner to get everything nice and straight here. This is where I do clip. I don't skip this part. I don't have a lot of clips. I only own one pack of Wonder Clips, so that gives me 10 clips. I typically don't need more than that unless I'm making a blanket. I'm just going along and I'm rolling the seams in my finger to make it nice and straight. Tug on that liner a little bit, make sure everything's pulled down, and then clip. Now, this way of doing the zipper, because I'm the zipper panel, this is a different way than probably what you're used to seeing on YouTube. When you go to stitch this all down, tuck on that liner. I like to do a little extra reinforcing on the part where the zipper panel is being sewn over. I'll show you when I'm done what I'm talking about. That way, when the zipper is being lifted up, it's not putting any stress. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna top stitch about a ½ inch down, top stitch all the way around the bag. When I come across the zipper panel, I like to go back and forth a few times, because when this is being lifted, when the bag's being used, this will be lifted. People might lift it up to put stuff in their bag. And if you only have one little stitch there, that's weak, and it's going to end up putting strain on the fabric. So I like to reinforce that, and it's nice. It's, nothing will happen. You have to think about these things, especially if you're selling your item. And I sell a lot of my handmade items. So I like to, I'm going to put this one. Let's see, I got an extra one here. My name is on it. So I can't sell something that's going to fail somebody. All right, now this is where I want to make sure I have a full bobbin. Make sure I have enough. And I don't. Oh my goodness. See, we would have started and this thing is bare. Boom, it's already gone. There it is. All right. Because remember, we started with a half a bobbin. So I have another half, a little halfie in here. I'm going to go, wait, this one might be that one that I doubled on. I'll just take the new one that I filled up. I don't want to take any chances. I know, I got it right here on my alarm. I'm at the last step, dear. Here we go. All right, ready to go. Here we go. Sometimes I sew starting on the inside, and sometimes I sew on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and do on the inside so I can make sure I address those zipper panels. Then again, I kind of go faster when I'm doing the outside. I'll do the outside. I'll do the inside. Decisions. Don't we love our decisions? Love making decisions. Okay. Here we go. You guys can't see shit that I'm doing. Hey, everything's blocking the camera. This is a thicker part, so you might want to use your hand crank it. I don't want to put any stress on that needle. I hate when a needle breaks. I hate the sound of it. I hate when it happens. It always scares the crap out of me. All right, now I'm approaching my first zipper panel. I'm going to reinforce it. Here we go. Reinforcing that second zipper again in the zipper panel. Removing the clip. right, I'm back where I started, so I'm just going to clip my threads while they're hanging out and tickling my fingers, and go finish this last little reinforcement. And we're done. Clip the threads, take the lighter. I like to burn off any extras. This is my little cover. I just throw it over there to kind of save any dust from going on there. So here we go. This is a nice bag. Let me move you guys back to the table and I'll stand up and, whoops. I dropped some garbage here. All right, there we go. All right, I'm just going to lift you up here. Don't get motion sick on me. There we go. I had you on a tote. Wait, don't turn that light off yet. We can turn this one off. All right, it's turned out really nice. So it says Baby Love, and it pops off like 3D because of the rope. It's really nice. And then the other side. And then you go on the inside and you got these awesome bright colors. It's a nice big bag. Let's zip up that zipper. There we go. Check it out. And when you have zipper tails like that, you can tuck them in and it becomes like full, I forgot what we were calling it. I don't know, but when your bag's hanging on a chair at a restaurant or at work, people don't see the zipper tails, and it's pretty cool to do that way. So I think it turned out really nice. Got that nice deep pocket here. Baby Love on that side. The inside, it's just where it just pops with color. See where the panels come up? And we reinforced it right there. So it won't be any stress on the fabric. Look at all that beautiful color in there. Very nice bag. I list this bag on my website. This one probably about $60. I don't charge for my time. I just charge for materials and small profit. If I go hourly and charge for my time, then my bags would be $150, dollars. Whereas I know other people who make bags are in the same boat. They charge around the same. They're a little bit more than I do actually, but it's hard. We're not Coach, we're not Gucci. It's handmade, and unless you appreciate and understand what handmade is, people are afraid to pay that price. Another thing that I like to add to my bags, forget to mention it all the time, is a zipper pull. And you can add little charms to it. I have beads, I have charms, ones that say Sister Mom or Bless Your Heart, little dog bones. You can, bag charms, zipper pulls, however you want to do it. Beautiful. So there we have it. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Please subscribe if you're willing to deal with my amateur video equipment for right now. And if you have any tips and tricks you'd like to share with me as well, I gladly accept your advice. Or if you have any questions, ask me a question. Um, and I look forward to making lots more videos for you guys. And thank you so much to all of you that have been making videos. I've been watching you guys for years. Oh, okay. All right, just had a new grandbaby be born. We're talking about what he looks like. He looks just like his dad and his grandmother on his dad's side. I said it. There it is. Yes, he does look just like his dad. I see it. Anyways, all right. Bye, guys. Thank you.